Are you enjoying the highlights on the TV? Yeah, it's kind of cool. It's actually the highlights of last season's 2023 NBA season's highlights. I thought it would be kind of cool just to have us on in the background as we actually talk a little bit of NBA basketball. Yes, in tonight's video, I'm going to be going over for the first time, and I think 4, 5, 3, could be even 6 years since I've done one of these videos of naming the best player on every NBA team. Either if you're a sort of novice to the NBA game and you're just kind of here to listen to me ramble and whisper about anything, or you're someone who loves the NBA and just wants, I guess, my opinion, or just to have a little basketball, I guess, background noise to you falling asleep or trying to relax. I think either way it could be kind of nice. But yes, the best player on every NBA team. Kind of nice. Make sure you do like the video. If you do, in fact, like the video, could help with this video's reach. If you're just, jumping in here from notifications, thank you so much if you're a notification subscriber. That's really cool. Make sure to comment down below maybe your favorite player in the NBA, who you think the best player in the NBA is, or maybe if you even just disagree or whatever with, I guess, my choosing of the best player of every NBA team. The first NBA team we're going to be talking about is going to be the Atlanta Hawks. Yes, the Atlanta Hawks, starting with A, of course. Best player on their team is probably the same one I said last time we even talked and done one of these before. It's Trae Young. No big surprise. Trae Young last season averaged 26 points, 10 assists, 3 rebounds a game. Kind of had a little bit of a shooting slump last season, only averaging 34% if you want to round it up on threes, which we all know Trae Young is still one of the best three-point shooters in the NBA. Kind of having a down year on that, but I think he'll be coming right back around sometime this upcoming season. And could you argue it? That's the question we're going to be asking ourselves this entire video, is can you argue it? DeJounte Murray is very talented and definitely defensively is maybe the best defensive player on the Atlanta Hawks. You could argue him or Clint Capella, John Hunter, but Trae Young, his offensive skill is through the roof, an offensive juggernaut in himself. Next up on the Boston Celtics. Boston Celtics, they are up next. And for them, I guess you could maybe argue it technically, but I'm gonna go with Jason Tatum. Yes, Jason Tatum of the Boston Celtics last season averaged 30 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists. Maybe the best player at his position, at the forward position. I mean, of course, like at the small forward position, power forward, I mean, there's still Kevin Durant and Giannis and blah, blah, blah. But I think for true small forwards, man, Jason Tatum right now is a do-it-all player. He's averaging almost 5 assists a game, which is crazy for a forward who has the ball in his hand, who's always looking for a bucket, a basket, a pretty efficient shooter. Also, not gonna lie, he's still only 19 years old, which is so crazy to think about, but he shot 35% from 3, being a very high volume shooter. Next up, we have the Brooklyn Nets, and with the Brooklyn Nets, theirs is a little bit more complicated. It's for sure, in my opinion, though, Mikal Bridges. Yes, Mikal Bridges. I would read off some stats to you, but technically Mikal Bridges' stats last season were kind of skewed because he was traded halfway through the season. When he was playing in Brooklyn, though, his numbers were insane. They were all-star quality numbers, which is pretty wild to think about. Could you argue it? No, not in my opinion, no. Nick Claxton is a very high upside player who could definitely be like a defensive player of the year candidate, or sticking with their guns and really just seeing what they got from trading away Kyrie Irving, Kevin Durant, and James Harden. We have LaMelo Ball. Yes, averaging last season from only 36 games. So I do apologize, not the greatest sort of number of games to really see how good he was, but he was really good last season. It was 23 points per game, 6.5 rebounds almost, and 8 assists. And that's really a part of LaMelo Ball's game that really hypes him up a lot, is his great playmaking this is where it gets very arguable, in my opinion. I love both these players, but it's definitely down between Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan now. I think consensus, you would probably say DeMar DeRozan, he had a better season last year than Zach LaVine. You could argue that maybe play style wise, just, you know, youth, athleticism, blah blah blah, you would say Zach LaVine, but last year DeMar DeRozan averaged 25 points per game, 5 rebounds and 5 assists. He is the mid-range god for sure. Zach LaVine last year averaged 25 points, nearly 5 rebounds, and 4 assists. Zach LaVine, an outside shooter, get to the rim, very high efficient. Well, I want to say they're neither of them are really highly efficient, but defensively kind of both liabilities. It's kind of pick your poison. I guess I would say, in my opinion, I would probably say who's just the better player right now. I'd probably just say DeMar DeRozan. Okay, next up we have the Cleveland Cavaliers. For the Cleveland Cavaliers, kind of easy, at least for right now. Donovan Mitchell. He scored over 70 points last NBA season. He was definitely the focal point of their playoff run they had last season, which didn't go over well at all. That team was so gassed, no depth, but Donovan Mitchell still looked good in the entirety of last season. Man, he was, I wouldn't say he was an MVP conversation type of guy, but he was definitely someone you would bring up in conversations for that dark horse MVP candidate, and I could maybe see that happening the same for them this year as last year. And I still think of them as sort of a dark horse team only because they have a true go-get-em, you know, all-star like Donovan Mitchell. Then up next, the Dallas Mavericks, kind of stupid. Well, I don't want to say that, no offense to Luka Doncic, but of course it's Luka Magic, Luka Doncic, the Don himself, Luka. I love Luka Doncic. He is easily one of my favorite players. If I could get another NBA jersey, which yes, I'm still wearing my Damian Lillard jersey, I need to get a new one. Maybe, I don't know. But I would love to have a Luka Doncic jersey. I think his number's really cool too, but dude is a walking triple-double, averaging 30 points last season. He was, you know, struggling a lot with his team, kind of not knowing what direction they were going in last year, then getting Kyrie Irving and still kind of readjusting his game to accustoming to a star like Kyrie Irving. So I think this next season, I say it every year, might be my year that I pick Luka Doncic to win MVP like I've done the past 2 other seasons. For the Denver Nuggets, kind of a quick one as well. Jamal Murray, Nikola Jokic, of course, Nikola Jokic for the Denver Nuggets. The dude is arguably the best player in the NBA right now. Some other people would say otherwise. Some people still think LeBron is the best, or Kevin Durant. You can definitely argue, maybe my argument, maybe with Giannis. I think Giannis still might be my best, like, all-around NBA player. But Nikola Jokic is a god with the basketball in his hand. He is a wizard with the passing. He can shoot the 3-ball. He can do whatever he wants in the paint. It's insane what that guy can do. And he's a very fun guy. I love watching Twitter videos of him popping up all the time. But yeah, Detroit Pistons, another kind of easy one. Cade Cunningham, of course, with Cade Cunningham. Wow, definitely going to be one day one of the better players in the NBA. He did have a pretty major surgery last season that actually sat him out for the entirety of last year, which is why I can't really give any stats on him, but he is going to be a player that is going to have a boom season where he's going to just come out and just have like almost like an SGA type of season where he's going to just score 25 plus points, average like 8 assists, defensively capable. I think he's going to have one of those seasons one of these years. I think next season he's just going to find himself a little bit more, kind of just readjusting himself from his surgery. Season after that, though, watch out for Cade. I think he might have like a very big boom season one of these days, especially with that Detroit Pistons team and the potential that they have. Golden State Warriors are up next, and still not arguable. It's Steph Curry. Steph Curry last season played 56 games, not too shabby, putting up 29 points, 6 rebounds, which I didn't know Steph Curry was like six assists as well. Yeah, Steph Curry is still Steph Curry. Last season, he actually averaged one of his highest three-point shooting percentages in his entire career at 43%, putting up 5 threes, making about 5 threes, shooting about 11 of them per game. Up next, we have the Houston Rockets, and this is also a very arguable one because the Houston Rockets are a team that definitely added a lot of talent over this past NBA season, this off season, you could say, and Jalen Green is definitely the most promising player. He's probably also the most popular. But quite honestly, I think the best player right now on the Houston Rockets has to be Dylan Brooks. Fred VanVleet. I think Fred VanVleet might be the best player on the Houston Rockets, which might be kind of interesting to some people that I might say that. But Fred VanVleet last season in Toronto averaged 20 points, 4 rebounds, 7 assists. Honestly, one of his best years in his NBA career, which is kind of funny to think that he may not be thought of that, but he's still almost an all-star capable player. Now again, like I said, Jalen Green is definitely more of a player that many people will like to think would be in that consideration. Indiana, very easy one. Tyrese Halliburton, of course. Tyrese Halliburton is another sort of wizard with the basketball. He is just so much fun to watch. Indiana's going to be a team I'm watching heavily next season, and they might be a team that they might finish, with a home court advantage at the 4 seed, or maybe be a 6 seed, or maybe just stay where they are and start tanking again. I don't know. They're a very interesting team that could really go in either direction. But I think Tyrese Halliburton might be in that position right now, this upcoming season, where his stats and his what he brings to the team will actually go meaningful towards wins and not just be a crazy sort of like, whoa, a promising young player. I think he's actually going to be making meaningful impact to a winning team. Maybe next season. This upcoming season is what I meant. The Los Angeles Clippers. Oh my god, the LA Clippers. The most important player, the best player. Dang, that's rough because it's Kawhi Leonard. It's gonna be Kawhi, no duds. Kawhi when he is healthy and on the court is still a great player. But I can't. I'm not even kidding. I watch a pretty decent amount of basketball. Wow, who would have thought? The last time I watched Kawhi Leonard play basketball, I literally can't remember, which is crazy. I think you can definitely argue Paul George, and maybe even Paul George is right because availability is the best ability, but his ability to be available isn't also that great. So maybe it's like Norman Powell. Who else is also pretty insane? Just a guy on the LA Lakers goes by the name of LeBron James. Yes, LeBron James. Still the best player on the Lakers. Still a top 10 player. Still arguably top 5. People even argue him still being the best player in the NBA, which if you look at stats and control of the game and how he, analytics, the eye test, I don't know, a lot of things, you could argue that, but could you argue that a fully healthy LeBron maybe isn't even as important as a fully healthy Anthony Davis, full strength? Who is the better player? I love LeBron, so I'm saying LeBron. The Memphis Grizzlies, another easy one. John Morant. John Morant's a very fun player. All of these highlights, about like 20 minutes of this hour-long clip of highlights are John Morant himself, which probably isn't that surprising, but holy cow. Does it suck? Kind of thinking about how he's just, fizzling away before our eyes, maybe, I don't know. I really hope this is the last time we ever have to sort of mention this type of stuff with John Morant ever again in his entire career. If not, that is just a shame, because it shouldn't take this many opportunities, but we will have to see. But I'm really excited to see this sort of like new-faced Memphis Grizzlies team with Marcus Smart on the team. That's going to be a lot of fun. The Miami Heat, which, okay, I am in fact wearing a Rip City Portland Trailblazer Damian Lillard jersey, and would say if Dame did get traded to Miami, conversation of whose team is it would be very interesting. If I'm thinking about it just with, without Dame, of course it's Jimmy, but with Dame potentially, most likely on the team, I think Dame would be the best player. Jimmy Butler last season averaged 23 points per game, 6 rebounds, 5 assists, really good throughout the regular season. Now, if we're talking playoff Jimmy Butler, he might be top 3 in the NBA if we're talking about playoff Jimmy Butler, but we're talking just the entirety of his NBA season and what he's shown us so far. Dame in the playoffs is also no scrub himself. He dropped one of the best playoff games in NBA history just like 3 years ago. Insane. So, both the players rise to the occasion, but Dame, I think, does it just more in the regular season. Milwaukee Bucks, Giannis Antetokounmpo. It's Giannis. He is maybe the best player in the NBA. It's Giannis. It's Giannis. It's Giannis. Giannis. No does Giannis. The Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm gonna say it. I think going into and for the entirety of the 2024 NBA season, it may not be game 1. It may be game 1. It may be game 82. It may be when they make the playoffs. But I think this is the year that Anthony Edwards does officially take over as being the best player on the franchise. I think he will be the best player on the team. Karl-Anthony Towns is an amazing player. Maybe the best three-point shooting big in NBA history, like statistically wise, which is kind of crazy to think about. But man, Anthony Edwards, I think every time I see him play, is just so like, whoa, this guy could be a top 10 player. He could be the best player at his position. It's going to be a year he makes a pretty big jump. The New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, I guess kind of like how we said with the Lakers and LeBron, Anthony Davis at full strength. The New Orleans Pelicans' best player is in fact Zion Williamson. Still to this day, I will say it's Zion. But if we're thinking in a realistic lens here, I think it might be Brandon Ingram. I think Brandon Ingram might be the most talented, all-around, available NBA player on the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, again, if we're talking about hypotheticals and, if they're just all full strength and fully healthy, yes, of course it's Zion, but we don't live in that world, right? That's such a tough toss-up. I'll say Zion just because I'll save face, because I think that's also probably the majority of people of thought. But if you really think about it, I think it might actually be Brandon Ingram just because he is super talented. Maybe not as talented as Zion, but he's on the court, but still really not on the court that often. I don't know. New York Knicks, an arguable one, but I think right now it's Jalen Brunson. I'll say Jalen Brunson is the best player in New York City. Maybe entirely. Maybe he's better than Mikal Bridges. I don't know. I was very interested to see how he was going to be sort of like the next big signing for New York, and kind of, I don't want to say discouraged with that fact, but dude is looking like an all-star. Dude is looking like, again, the best player on the team. Dude is looking like he's carrying the offense. He's the voice of the team. He's definitely becoming a leader of that squad, which, God, who would have thought Jalen Brunson, a six-man on the Dallas Mavericks a couple years ago, would turn into that kind of guy. But he is that kind of guy, and it's really cool to see. So, the Oklahoma City Thunder, SGA, Shea Gilgeous-Alexander, no duh. Holy cow, one of my favorite players to watch since forever. I was really excited to watch him play in the Clippers era that he was in for a little bit. Seeing him play with Chris Paul was really interesting, and then seeing him sort of on his own, sort of developing the sort of leadership skills was really impressive to watch. Now, I really want to see him turn that into winning. Kind of the conversation we had with Tyrese Halliburton and the Orlando Magic. Oh my God, is Paolo Banchero already the best player on Orlando? Oh my God, a rookie might be their team's best Now, of course, could Paolo have the sophomore slump? Yes, which I'll knock on wood for you Orlando Magic fans. That doesn't happen, but maybe it does take a little bit of a dip. So maybe I will actually say Franz Wagner, Philadelphia 76ers. It's Joel Embiid. Won the MVP last year. You could say it was a pity one, but an MVP is an MVP, and he played like a damn MVP. Like, he played out of his mind defensively, offensively, carried that team, and man, he just needs to prove it in the postseason. And wow, what a great center in our NBA's current era. But till he does that, he is still just a good player, a great player, but he's still not at that level of, like, say, his sort of enemy, his nemesis, Nikola Jokic, winning a Finals MVP already. That's just crazy to think that Nikola Jokic has a title, a Finals MVP, multiple MVPs, but Joel Embiid doesn't. Whoa. The Denver Nuggets. Whoa. Sorry, the Phoenix Suns is what I meant to say. The Phoenix Suns. They got a lot of good players. They have Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant. You want to argue DeAndre Ayton? No, probably not. It's probably still Kevin Durant. I think definitely the next year, 2 years, maybe 3 years, you could definitely, like, determine it being Devin Booker, sort of Kevin Durant, like, sort of referring to Devin Booker when it comes to scoring opportunities. But I mean, still seeing how the Phoenix Suns were last year, and still seeing how Kevin Durant was, I think it's still Kevin Durant. Could that change in game 1? Yes, it definitely could, because Devin Booker is, again, probably the best player at his own position. You can argue that with Kevin Durant too, so it's kind of iffy, but man, having those two guys on the same team is very much not fair. The Portland Trailblazers. Portland Trailblazers. Now, of course, it's Dame as of the recording of this video in August, but it could be different the second you watch this video. But if not Dame, I don't think it's going to be Scoot Henderson. I think a lot of people are still underestimating Anthony Simons. I think Anthony Simons on his own team, and I don't even really like him on Portland right now because we have Scoot and Shaden with Ant. It's still super freaking awkward, but it is what it is. I think he's the best player. He's like a top 5 3-point shooter in the NBA statistically. He is very much getting better and better at being a little more comfortable and scoring off the dribble, scoring, towards the hoop, not just chucking up wide open threes because Damian Lillard is his teammate. I'm very interested to see how he readjusts his game to becoming more of a maybe 1A option instead of referring to another player. Sacramento Kings. I love Domantas Sabonis. He's probably my favorite underrated NBA player, which you can't even really call him underrated really much anymore. But definitely would probably have to say De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox averaged last season 25 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. Played really good in the Kings playoff run in the Golden State Warriors series that they lost in, but he did get injured, and maybe if he didn't, things would be different. But even playing injured, he played just phenomenal. And man, the engine of the NBA team is the point guard, and seeing what he can do and just improve his team play more and getting his guys a little bit more involved would be amazing to see. San Antonio Spurs. It's gonna be Victor Wembanyama, but Keldon Johnson, I think, is definitely going to be having a pretty good year this year. It's going to be very important to whatever they want to do in San Antonio, whether it is just, tanking again. Maybe they do want to make sort of a playoff push with Victor there, but Keldon Johnson might be the most talented player on the team, but I think they're going to hype up and utilize Victor so much they're going to force feed him to be the team's best player because they kind of have to. So I'll say Victor, but Keldon Johnson, I actually really like him. Toronto Raptors, still Pascal Siakam, which is so crazy to think about that they still, to this day, have Pascal Siakam since having kind of a downer couple years, getting a very high draft pick and getting Scotty Barnes, which still very surprised. And now they don't have a point guard, well, unless you want to count Scotty Barnes to play point guard, which is very interesting. And then Anunoby also plays shooting guard now, which that team is just mind-boggling, but it works for them. They are still very capable playoff contending team. The Utah Jazz, Lauri Markkanen. Lauri Markkanen last year was an all-star. I think it's going to be his only all-star selection. You can let me know down in the comments if you think otherwise, but I still think he's going to be the most talented player in Utah. Walker Kessler, in his defensive capability, you could definitely argue being the best player because of just how he is defensively, but man, Lauri Markkanen, Arizona Wildcat, let's go, baby. Very cool to see his sort of ascension in the NBA last season. I think you will carry it into next season to a degree, but I don't think he's going to be like another 25 point per game scorer. Maybe he will, and I hope he is, but I don't think he's going to be like an all-star next year. And lastly, we have the Washington Wizards, which I would have to say it's a toss-up between Kyle Kuzma and Jordan Poole, and I really feel like Jordan Poole is going to try his best to sort of really make his name known after being traded from the Golden State Warriors. But I love Kyle Kuzma. You guys know I'm a big fan of the Lakers, and seeing Kyle Kuzma succeed will be really cool, and sort of him even having a more bigger role now that Bradley Beal's gone is going to be very interesting to see. So I'm going to say Kyle Kuzma on that one, but Jordan Poole, for the first 20 games of the NBA season, he's going to be on a furious roll to be showing off to the Golden State Warrior franchise and fan base, so watch out for that. But yeah, the best player for every NBA team. We still have these highlights going on in the background, which hopefully you guys don't think that's too distracting, but I've been very hyped with this video. I haven't really been able to talk a lot of sports recently, and I want to do that a lot more just because I feel like a lot of you guys are missing out on that, so I really do apologize. And yeah, make sure you do like the video. If you do like the video, comment